Hi everyone, how are you? Small crew today, which is great. It means that we can make this a little bit more informal, a little bit more powerful for everyone today. Potentially, I've decided to run this a little bit late, maybe a week too late, and everyone's already on holidays or thinking about doing something else. But that's okay. You know, I'm not going to make it any less powerful. We'll create a great piece of content. So maybe one of the best ways for us to get us started here would be, just let me know, are you all, who's doing just new business or who's also looking after existing clients as well? Good morning, Nick. Good to see you. Well done. I was speaking to your boss yesterday. He was saying you're killing it. So Justin's doing both. Thank you. So just new business, or is it just, or both? Mostly new business, says Janine. Okay, and some extension of new. Thanks, Janine. Okay. Bill. Hey, Bill, how are you? New. Corinne, how are you, Corinne? New. Good on you, mate. All new, says Bill. New and existing, says Paul. Okay, so it looks like there's a real mix. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that I covered off both. I did get the opportunity to look at who'd registered, and I realised that there was a lot more mix of new and existing business than just straight out new. So I have changed the presentation a little bit so that there's some real value in there for everybody. And that's what we'll focus on today. So for those of you who are relatively new to this 20-minute power session, and for those who are going to watch the recording, you might wonder why I do these webinars in 20 minutes or 25 minutes instead of taking, an hour like everyone else does. And it was reinforced to me again during the week when I sat in on a webinar that went for 1 hour and 8 minutes. And the first 19 minutes, all they did was talk about the business and what they do. And I'm already a client, so I just figured like that was just a massive waste of time. And it was just reinforced to me that we can make these things as powerful as possible by just getting straight to it. So let's do that. So instead of the fluff. So today what I want to do is give you some strategies that you can use to book meetings into 2022 right now, right? So people are going to go on holidays very shortly in the next week, 2 weeks. And we typically here in Australia take 2, 3, 4 weeks off. You come back from holidays in January, maybe the 17th, maybe the 27th, whenever. And then you go, you know what? I actually don't have anything booked in my diary. That's called a sales hangover. And if it takes you 2 or 3 weeks to get up to speed, you're talking it's the middle of February. Guess what happens to your first quarter? It's an absolute blowout. So what I'm going to do today is give you some strategies for you to be able to make sure that doesn't happen to you, and that you can make sure that 2022 starts off on the right foot in relation to new and existing business. So the concept for today, it's not going to blow your mind in relation to levels of innovation. It's just going to provide you some really solid tactics and strategies and some comfort around how you can do that for booking meetings now and into the future. Okay, so conversations create relationships, and relationships provide opportunities. Opportunities then become sales. Pretty simple stuff. I get it. So the theory around this methodology is, how can we create more conversations right now that are going to lead to meetings booked in January and February 2022. And fundamentally, people right now start saying, particularly salespeople, it's too close to Christmas to start selling. Everyone's really busy. And we start making excuses about not reaching out, and our deals start to stall. So there's a rule that I like to call the 60 to 90 day rule. And what it says is what we do today is going to impact us and our pipeline in 60 or 90 days time. So if we book meetings and prospect today, in 60 to 90 days time, we're going to have meetings, we're going to have deals closing. Okay, we're going to have a nice, good pipeline in 60 to 90 days time. If we take our foot off the accelerator now and don't do anything, what's going to result is we're going to find we're going to have a massive hole in our pipeline in those 60 to 90 days. And we don't want that to happen. What we know is that right now, holiday people, with holidays coming up, people are more open to conversations. They're significantly more reflective about what's happened over the last year, and they're looking forward to 2022. Importantly, lots of people don't have things in their diary for 2022, or very little, because everyone's focused on getting things closed out now. That means there's massive gaps in their mental mindset and also in their calendars, and we can jump into there if we can. So now's a really good chance for us to get several meetings booked into January and February. So what we need to do though is act now. I think we've got 4 days. The way I look at it, we've got today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to really take action. So I'm going to give you a plan to be able to do that. And we need to plan that out to make sure that we're not going to fall over ourselves. So what I want you to do is just pause for a second, grab a notepad or, whatever your electronic device that you use. I still write stuff down on notes, but, and I want you to write down 10 names of people that you've worked with this year who you want to continue working with next year, right? Or you want to try and grow your business with next year. So 10 names of existing for those that are doing a combination of both, okay? And 5 names of people that you'd like to work with next year, but you haven't worked with this year, right? So potential prospects. For those of you who are all new, obviously you want to get about 15 names of people that you'd like to work with next year. And if you're having trouble thinking about who might be a good person to reach out to, let me give you a couple of ideas. So anyone who you got to proposal stage with, right? So think about closed lost. If you got to a proposal stage with somebody and they didn't proceed, maybe it was because of the budget. They didn't have budget. Maybe it was because they couldn't get their decision maker on board. Maybe it was for some other reason. Maybe the urgency of the project just ran out of steam. If you're in a subscription-based model, people are paying you a retainer or a subscription. Maybe that just cycled out. Go through your CRM and dig up a bunch of names that you communicated with previously. And the reason why I want to select these is because if we've communicated with these people in the past, okay, then we know that our emails, our phone calls, our text messages, etc., are getting through to those people. So it's much more likely that you're going to be able to start a conversation. Conversations, relationships, right? So if we just go after net new business, people that don't know us, it's going to be much harder for us to just start a very short conversation and get something booked into January or February. If we've communicated with them in the past, they know who we are. We've obviously done some form of qualification previously, so we can skip through some of those sessions, some of those pieces, and just get faster to booking a meeting, which is what we want, right? And the other thing is, if we've had communication with them earlier in the year and then they've opted out because they couldn't get their decision-making process aligned, they couldn't get their budget aligned, or something just came up that was more urgent, there's a high probability that they feel a little bit bad about them potentially having wasted your time or you've spent a lot of energy. As sales professionals, we need to be the people that restart that conversation, right? It's very likely that they're the prospects at least feel a little bit awkward about restarting that conversation. And if they come to buy from or they want to buy our products or services in the future, we don't want them to be so awkward that they then go to our competitors because the conversation's easier. So at the very least, you want to reopen that door so that when they are looking to buy something from us, it's going to be from us and not from somebody else. And I think as sales professionals, we've got that obligation. We shouldn't put that obligation onto our clients. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is have a plan. So hopefully while I've been waffling on, you've started to think about and write down some of those names. All right, and we need to have a plan around 2 things. The activity itself, and we'll go into that in a bit more detail, and what are your outcomes? Okay, so why is it that you want to have a conversation, and how many meetings do we want to try and book? So when we get on the phone, we can't just waffle on. We need to make sure that we've got a plan and a structured script, and we need to have a plan, likewise, a plan around the activity. So the best plan of activity from here is next week. We want to have Tuesday and Wednesday between 9 and 12 or 8:30 and 11:30, whatever your little window is. Get 2.5 to 3 hour time block, Tuesday and Wednesday. I think they're our last opportunities to take action and block that out. If you've got a team, of even 2 or 3 of you, then do this together. Whether you do it over Zoom or whether you actually go into the office and you sit in the boardroom, doesn't really matter. But block out a little window for that time next week. By Monday afternoon, you need to have your lists together. You want 30 or 40 names, 40 client lists if it's existing, or closed lost prospect lists if it's new business, and you need to figure out what you want to say and have that planned out in advance. Don't leave that to chance, and certainly don't leave that to figure out on Tuesday, because I know from experience that if you start that process on Tuesday, you'll be at 11 o'clock before you even start calling, and you're going to be behind the 8 ball. Get all this stuff sorted out either now or Monday afternoon. So Tuesday morning, cup of coffee time, you and your buddies can start reaching out and gamify it, right? So if you're a team leader, is anyone in here leading a team? Has anyone got more than... stick that in chat if you're leading a team. I'd love to know if you are. If you are leading a team, then gamify it. Like provide a bottle of wine or a gift voucher for the movies or something. So 3 is great if you can gamify it, Justin. That'd be awesome. Just so that you're all doing it and you're making a bit of fun out of it, and see who can have the most meetings booked by the end of the session, right? Because as soon as you create a little bit of competition, people are much more likely to get really excited about it. All right, so get that stuff sorted out. That's the planning side of the activity. And now you will need to have a plan around what it is that you're going to say and what are going to be the reasons for reaching out. Okay, so let me get rid of my head here. All right, so what you want to do is make the excuse the reason. So the reason for your calling is it's Christmas. Okay. And at a really high level for existing clients, it just needs to be really simple, okay? I just wanted to call up and say thanks for your business. I know it's been a really tough year out there in the marketplace, so I just wanted to take a minute and say thanks for your business. I really appreciate it. And just to let you know of my availability over the break in case you need me, okay? Really, really simple stuff. And then this is going to be an easy way for you to strike into a conversation, and I'll share a little bit more about that in a second. But what if it's net new? So what if you're someone like Corinne who's just dealing with new business? All right, so then you'd try something like this. I'm reaching out to say thanks to some of my existing clients, and I know we came really close to doing business during the year, so it just made sense to reach out to you too. The reason why this works so well is because you're putting all of those prospects on the same level as your existing clients, and they will love that. This is a very strong compliment. Okay, and by just having that tone and the right tone and the right start of the conversation, hey Mark, look, just thought I'd give you a quick call. I'm reaching out to say thanks to a whole bunch of my existing clients, and because we came close to doing business this year, or because I enjoyed doing business with you, because we swapped a few emails and we got pretty close, it just made sense to reach out to you too. Work's a treat. People are going to have a conversation with you, believe me. And then we want to have a plan about asking, and it's as simple as, would you be open-minded to catching up and swapping a few new ideas in early 2022? Okay, I've started doing this, and my clients are saying, yep, absolutely, and I'm getting time scheduled into the diary right now. Some of them are saying, give me a call back in the first week of January, the second week of January. And then what you say in that instance is just very simply, no problem, Bill. What I'm going to do is I'm going to diarise now to give you a call on the Wednesday, and we'll get something in the diary for the next 2 weeks after that. Does that make sense? They will say yes. Okay, it's really easy to do that. But here's the kicker, right? You need to have the mindset around a good conversation beyond just telling them your availability. You want to ask them what they're doing over the break. Okay, you want to ask them who they're going with, or where they're going and who they're going with and what they're going to do. All right. Obviously, it's nice to be polite, and this might make sense, but we do run the risk when we do these type of calling campaigns that when we get to that second week of January and we're meeting with them on Friday morning, that they go, I can't remember why I was going to meet with Justin. I'm just going to cancel. Right? But I can tell you now, if you send an email on the Tuesday or the Wednesday, like you should be, before the meeting on the Friday, and you say, hey Mark, I know we've got a meeting later in the week. Can't wait to hear how you went mountain biking with your kids down the South Coast. Right? There's no way they are going to cancel that meeting. Right? So when you reach out and have a conversation, hey, just wanted to say thanks for the business over the year. I know it's a tough environment. I really appreciate your business. Just wanted to let you know when I'm going to be away, just in case you have any needs during that time. By the way, Bill, what are you doing over the Christmas break? Well, I'm going to the South Coast. Oh, that's fantastic. Who are you going with? Just yourself? Or no, I'm taking the kids. What are you doing when you get there? Going to go mountain biking with the kids. We bought a new bike. Great. Write that stuff in your diary. Don't miss it. And then when you say, well, let's catch up in early January, I'd love to share with you some new things that are happening, and I think it'd be great. Maybe it's just to ask for referrals. Okay, let's have a referral conversation. I'd love to know what we've done really well, and potentially you can help me out there. when you reconnect early in the year, make sure you say, how was it? I know you went down the South Coast. How did the South Coast trip go? Did the kids love the mountain biking? Did the young bloke like mountain biking in the South Coast? Because there's no way they're going to cancel that meeting. Okay, it's the conversations that are creating relationships, and this is the relationship part. Okay, it's a really great strategy. If you can make 40 phone calls, for example, so Justin, if you and the three of you got down and made 120 phone calls across those 6 hours, I'd be very confident that you'd end up with a couple of dozen meetings across the three of you, 8 each, booked into those first or those last couple of weeks of January, so that you could come back and re-engage your existing clients about adding new products and services into your offering, or new business opportunities for those of you who are just focused on new business. Having 3 or 4 of those new business meetings booked in or opportunities to reconnect are going to make a significant difference to when you come back. Okay. So I forgot about the referral script. Okay, so if you want to try and get referrals, so if that's your goal, when people say, how are you? How have you been? Instead of just saying busy, give them an excuse. Say, look, I've been kept really busy with referral work. And you know what, Justin? That's something I'd like to run past you. How open-minded would you be about catching up early in the next new year and seeing if there's anybody in your network that you might be able to provide a referral to? Would that work for you? Okay. Again, outcome focused, and just having the scripts ready to go will make it really easy for you to do that. So instead of just saying, yeah, I've been really busy, you go, yeah, I've been really busy off the back of referral work. You know what? Really easy script for you to use to be able to ask people to provide you with referrals going forward. What if you can't get them on the telephone? That's a reality. So how can you engage with them? Just get a little handwritten card. For those of you who've been following me all year, and most of you here have been, just get out your notebook, write down, hey Bill, scribble out a note, take a photo of it with your phone and send it to them via text, send it to them via email. Say, hey, just gave you a quick call on the phone, obviously missed you, would still be keen to catch up. Here's a little thank you note for the year, right? It's not, a lot of us think that we need to be giving a bottle of Grange to our clients over this Christmas break, right? If you gave me a $50 bottle of wine, that'd be great. If you gave me a $20 bottle of wine that said, with some context around the note, then that's going to be worth a lot more. So if you sent me a $20 bottle of wine that said, hey Mark, you worked really hard, I know you're on vacation, I want you to drink this with your wife on vacation, overlooking the ocean down the South Coast, and think about everything that you've achieved over the year. Best regards, Bill. Then that's got a real value. Much more, and if it's a $19 or $20 bottle of wine, that's going to taste better to me than a $45 bottle of wine that's just been left with a standard card delivered by a courier, right? So, a handwritten note, whilst it might seem like it's too easy and there's no value, believe me, if you can personalize it, people are going to see that as incredible value. A couple of other options for those of you who are focused on new business, who are focused on existing business. You may have heard me talk about this crew before. Card.co allow you to create websites specific for prospects and clients really easily. This is a snapshot of one that I created. You can create a website. What you can do is go and grab a whole bunch of photos of you and your clients over that last 12 months, and then they scroll down and see a pictorial highlights of your collaboration over the year. Builds incredible value and makes you really sticky with your clients. Another idea I came up with that you'll know pretty well, of course, just the old Zoom video will work really well, or the vidyard or a Vimeo video saying, thanks very much if you can't get them on the phone. And last, one of my favorites is the personalized image. So here's a photo of just me and Davo. Just mock that up in, Davo the dog obviously, mock that up in PowerPoint or Google Slides, create the text and then shoot that off. A great way to stay in contact. They will hopefully respond. So if you've personalized these outreach messages, these outreach images enough, and you've left them a voicemail, they've missed your call, they should then respond. If they then respond via email, you call them back, and then you just go straight back to that calling process that we had earlier on, where you say, hey Bill, just wanted to say thanks for your business, etc. All right, so use these outreach strategies if you can't get them on the phone to get them back on the phone. It's as simple as that. So it's just about having a plan, people, and knowing what to say. Using Christmas as the excuse works really, really well. Hey, thanks for your business. Really appreciate it. Just wanted to let you know what I was up to over the Christmas break in case you needed something. By the way, what are you up to? That's great. By the way, would you be open to catching up early in 2022? I've got some things I want to share with you. What's the diary like late January? Take that approach with your existing clients. You're going to do lots of them. For those of you that are just focused on net new, go back through your CRM and look for those closed, lost opportunities, or anybody that's swapped. You'll know who you've had good conversations with. Look through your email. You know who the people that you came close to, those opportunities that you thought you could have converted. Re-engage with them and see if there's an opportunity to have another conversation early in 2022. And the reason why this works is actually psychological, right? So when we start a new year, okay, we're looking to start new projects. Right now, everyone's focusing on closing off the projects that they've been trying to achieve over 2021, whereas 2022, people start afresh. And that's why things like diets and fitness plans are so popular in early January. The gymnasiums have their highest level of signups in January and early February as everyone comes off going, this is the year I want to get fit. Well, it's exactly the same with business, all right? So people want to start new projects early in 2022, and if you can get them to commit to it, then they're likely to start sometime during the calendar year. All right, so folks, it's all well and good for me to share these strategies with you, but you really need to have a plan. I've provided you with the best plan that I possibly can. By the way, Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll certainly be doing this. I'll be reaching out to all the clients that I've spoken to over the year, closed, lost, and also the clients that I've worked with to do exactly this strategy. So I'll be walking my talk. Love your work. I'm looking forward to bringing you some really great content in early 2022 myself. Be on the lookout. I've found there's some significant changes to the way we needed to sell in the back half of 2022. I'm putting together a playbook that I'm going to share with you early in January, early in the new year, so probably late January, about the differences in selling 2020, 2021, and what I think we need to be selling in 2022. That'll be tactical, a lot of tips, and it's be about 15 pages worth of sales playbook that I'll give to you early in the year. People loved interacting with you all year, whether it been on LinkedIn or through these events. Have a great break. Make sure you take some time off, people. Put the feet up. You need to rest so that you can come back on fire. Don't spend all of Christmas thinking about selling. That'd be terrible. Take some time off. Enjoy your break. Ciao.